on me being a content creator, my journey, and how it's been. So I'll answer as much questions that you guys might have for me as possible. And yeah, let's get aligned. So after I do this blush situation, I go in with my foundation. My foundation is the House Labs. I'm so obsessed with this foundation. Since I got my hands on it, I'd read some like great reviews about it. So I was like, I have got to try it. My sew-ins I usually lost them for a month. I don't stay for long with them because I always want my hair washed, and whenever I wash my sew-ins, it just almost feels like my hair isn't completely dry underneath. And because I also have dandruff, that's why I'm obsessed with like constantly washing my hair. So I do it weekly or every 2 weeks. So I don't keep my sew-ins for that long. That's why I found these clip-ins to be a better alternative, because then I can play around with hairstyles for each occasion or whatever look I want to go for. So the shade I'm using on this is shade 340 medium cool. 340 medium cool. So yeah, I go in with this. If you have just joined this live now, we had so much to speak about before. We spoke about my journey and how I started content creation, what my main priority or what I was pushing on socials at that particular point, and how my transition has gotten to where it is currently. How's your fitness routine? You always look so snatched. Thanks. I try eat well. I don't work out regularly or as regularly as I used to. I think this year I've had the busiest schedule out of the past 3 years, especially after my second child. So it's gotten super busy that I can't really keep up with the routine. I literally just go work out when I can. But I try to eat clean. Like, I really watch what goes into my body. And yeah, I think also walking adds to steps. A supermodel, Nkosi yam. Exactly. I love this foundation. My skin is breaking out. So I've got like pimples, and there's this one that's been there for so long. Which face primer do you use? Let me show you the sequence of the moisturizers that I use on my face. So I start with this liquid lotion from La Mer, and then I use this La Prairie Skin Caviar moisturizer, and then because most moisturizers already like help with prepping and priming the skin, I usually don't go over with a primer because I use a lot of steps before having to add a primer, that it then ends up leaving my skin feeling very flaky, and I don't like how that feels on my skin. And also I use sunscreen. So yes, this, then the sunscreen, and then I spray this on top of it. I wanted to show you guys that I want to try this infused like liquid serum for the first time with my makeup, because I usually just like use it to like refresh when my makeup's already done, but I want to spray it like in between. Do you know what I mean? Like in between. Do you take out the clip-ins when you go to bed, or do you sleep with them? I definitely take them out. I think I have a low tolerance for like things that are super tight on my hair now. That's why I do sew-ins, especially when I want that pulled effect, because the fact that my hair is plaited underneath adds to the pull effect. So I do them when I'm leaving, when I'm going away, I'll do sew-ins. Also, I manage my time better when I've got them on instead of this, where I take them out before I sleep and put them back on every day. It's so not conducive. So that's why even like I went, dropped my kids off, and then I came back and I put them on. How do you juggle work plus motherhood? Guys, I just juggle. Honestly, there's no easy way. You relax your hair often. Not often, but for example, my last trip last month, my hair, I let my hair grow out for like 2 months. I had not relaxed my hair since June, late June. So I wanted my hair fresh because I wanted to do a pony and I wanted to do like some French twist. I wanted my hair to look very fresh. So I relaxed it and it had so much growth and I couldn't stand it at that time. At the time I went to the salon. And then my hair didn't relax properly after the first time. So like I relaxed, but my hair didn't look like what I wanted to look like. And then, because my friend relaxes my hair at the salon, she was like, "Oh, no, friend, you must come back." I was like, that was the most ghetto thing to do, to actually come back and actually relax. So literally, I went back. I stayed for like 3-4 days of relaxing for the first time. Then I went again to relax in less than a week. Just so my hair is stretched fully and it looks as I would want it to look, I guess. But yeah, that was so funny. And then the second time I was like, yes, this is exactly the finish I wanted. But yeah, so this is my updated makeup routine. Just wanted to share it with you guys, like super light, super effortless. Not much effort, but definitely impact. No, definitely. No, but also the relaxer burned me. So because I was burnt, I was like, yo, guys, we need to wash. And then I knew it. I knew from washing that quick that I won't get the desired results. So he was just like, nah, man, you must definitely come back. And the second time around, you're not going to burn. And I really didn't burn. It was so funny. So I relaxed like 1 day before I left. Just so when I get to the other side, my hair looks fresh and I can manage it easily on my own. Oh, sorry. So I use this Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Also the best thing I've got my hands into. I don't know. I'm not using a mirror. I'm using the screen. Did you watch Miss Essay? I actually didn't. I actually don't watch much TV, guys. If I watch TV, it needs to be like a very chilling thriller. It needs to be a documentary series that has like something that I'm truly interested in. I don't know. So I don't watch reality shows. I'm not into them. Yeah. So I think the right thing you just put, it's the NARS blush. Thank you. Which relaxer do you use? I use Mizani. Do you have cornrows? Oh my God, no, Joyce. Karabo? No, babes. These are like clip-ins. I feel so bad for you guys that you guys missed out on an entire, I did an entire speech, welcoming speech to welcome the people who are new. Took them through how I actually, like literally everyone who was here on the first time I went live saw everything. Literally they saw how I looked when I wake up, and I've just woken up and I've just washed my face. They literally saw me without these, and then we installed these together right here. So what do you do in your free time or to ease time? I'm currently learning French. I also like reading. So look, the things I like are very weird. So I'm into astrology also. So I do a lot of research on that, and then I get into a rabbit hole, and then it sucks me in, and then every discovery. So my baby daddy, he's very curious and he's a very intelligent person. So he understands my train of thought, right? So there's this one time, there's something he had called for, and then I was like, oh, hey, and by the way, did you know that A, B, and C is A, B, and C? And he was like, oh, really? And I said, yes. And then we got into a loop. We probably had that conversation for almost an hour. And he was just like, oh my God, when you started with, did you know, I knew that, oh my God, Sin has like a new revelation. Sin has a new revelation. There's something new she figured out. And now she's like, so that's how I am. I'm quite obsessive, especially with new information, and just like I enjoy being knowledgeable. So I think I listen to music, I listen to background noise like this, and then I research things. Like I research things a lot, and also like psychology and like the human brain and like human behavior. Like I research a lot of those things. So then when I have chats with like, especially close people, because I don't think everyone gets it. I know not everyone gets it. But like my close people, like when I share like those things with them, and they're like, oh wow, and they share like their newfound knowledge, and I'm there just in awe, like, oh my God, and then, you know what I mean? So it's weird, but like it's fun for the people who actually understand. But also, one of the other things that I really enjoy doing is being at the salon and just having my hair washed. So if like I'm feeling bored and I don't really have anything to do, I'm just gonna randomly go to the salon and just say, oh guys, wash my hair. And they're gonna say, oh no, but maybe it still looks fresh. And I'm like, no, I know, but maybe let's treat it then how about that? So I also enjoy that. But you see, the thing with me is that sometimes I don't even have to be like interested in it. But the fact that it's information that I didn't know, I'm like, I like people who know. I like people also who know more than I know. Do you know what I mean? And he knew more than like he knows more than I know. But he's always mind blown when I now know things that he didn't know. You know what I mean? So it was always like fun because we were always like that. Bye, lady. You're absolutely studying. I need to study. Oh, guys. Sanu, late. I mean, you don't have to go now, but bye. Are you married? No, I'm not married. Do you wash your hair or relax every two? Oh, no, not relax every 2 weeks. Like the last time I relaxed my hair was end of September. I think I'm going to relax it now, maybe towards the end of November. So I wash my hair maybe every 2 weeks, sometimes weekly. I don't really count. I just, every time I feel like I'll just go wash my hair because I want it feeling like fresh. The silkiness rather is from them blowing it out, or me ironing it here in the house. But I try also stay away from like heat. Can I have your number? Oh, no. Guys, on bus bunch at no. You should do a fashion collab with Sarah Langa. Why? Do you think keratin treatment is better than relaxing? I think it's got its benefits because, I mean, I don't think relaxing your hair often is good for the hair. I think it thins out the hair over time. And then, you know, it just doesn't give you a few cool to use to make products for the rest. If you could use only 2 makeup products for the rest of your life, says it. Oh my God, that's unfair. But also, why reduce it to 2? Why limit me? What makes you think I'd maybe have to do that? Like 2. But anyways, it would probably be a lip liner and favorite lipsticks. Favorite lipstick. Favorite lipsticks. And I don't know. Lip liner and lipstick. Hopefully my skin would be behaving and be in good condition. Where have you been hiding? Missed these. Thank you. I've just had like my schedule jumbled. You know when it almost feels like a rug was pulled off of your feet while you were actually standing on it? that's how my routine had been. So that's why I had been like scarce, and I had a lot of like home things to take care of, also like things surrounding my kids. So I just needed to be present there. But when I began this live, basically to the people who are joining the second one, was that I am doing this live to share some insights and tips on content creation, share a bit from my journey, what I've learned, and what I think you guys can also learn too, especially if you are interested in being on social media. Obviously, I'm no expert. All this is just from my experience and the things I've achieved. You need rematch with Switzerland's around the way that country suits you. Wow. Thank you. I was thinking about this and I was saying it to my sister. I'm actually more of a winter girl when it comes to vacation than I am summer, especially in Europe. I really love winter in Europe. I also enjoy the itinerary around winter in Europe. So yeah, it wasn't my first or last time going there. It will definitely be a tradition that I keep and introduce my kids to it as well, so they can learn skiing from an early age. That's what I actually want to do. And I was having this conversation also with the seventh generation of Creed when I went to the Creed trip, and he was showing me videos of his kids. Shucks. This tripod always feels like it's gonna fall. So we were having just a general chat. We were at a place where we were all having lunch. So we ended up seated on the same table, which was such an honor. So he gets to know me, asks where I'm from, and we have a chit chat. I ask him about, his family. We talk about our kids, because obviously that's my favorite thing to speak about in the world. So then he shows me videos, and he's like, they go to, because he lives in Switzerland, so he's like, they go to St. Moritz, the mountains, every weekend because his kids, and they're so adorable. One is 7, if I can recall, but they're still very small in their foundation years. So it's just they're learning how to ski, and I'm like, whoa. By the time they reach their teen years, they'll be pros, whatever. And I was telling him that that's actually what I want to do for my kids, because we went now in Jan and we learned skiing on that trip, but it wasn't a proper lesson that we took because we didn't have enough time to book and stuff. But that's my intention when I do these things, and it's not to... For me, okay, I'm just going to give you background. For me, it's not just going there to actually see the snow and, take photos of the snow. No, I want to immerse myself in the activities there. And if I enjoy them, then it's things that I can introduce my kids to, God willing. You know what I mean? Because obviously it comes at a cost or whatever. But when I try something out for the first time and then I realize that I actually like it, I don't want it to only be experienced for that time only. So in person, you're so gorgeous first time in your lives. Oh, thank you. Where did you see me? Guys, you must tell me when you see me. Kindly highlight most important things you did to grow your account. Shucks, I spoke about this when I started the live for the first time, that when I started social media, it was back in 2015, and back then it was just vibes, it was fun. You're out and the lighting looks great, you take a photo. It was not really much about aesthetics. And then the transition from that, and also at that time I was working in retail. If most of you guys maybe know that professionally I'm a certified makeup artist, because I worked for MAC and that's where I got certified. And I worked for MAC for 9 years. 9 years. It's close to a decade. Revealing my age. But yeah, so that's where I learned a lot, and more importantly, social media, and how to just handle things on social media, because I got social media training while I was there. So I didn't really I didn't have any tips on necessarily growing my account, because my intention around that time wasn't necessarily to have a large following. I think back in the day, people just followed. You know, it wasn't necessarily about I need to reach 300k followers or whatever. So it was gradual growth. My intention when I started it was around building a connection, making like a social media support group where I share my likes and then I follow people with those likes, like the same interests basically. So yeah, I wasn't really worried, or like I wasn't really too occupied about when I'm going to go viral, when I'm going to reach a million views or whatever, followers. So that was not the point for me. And the biggest thing I took away from being trained is intention. What are you trying to achieve by being on social media? Also, start by answering a simple question, which is something that we hardly ask ourselves, like, who is Sinqobile Tusani and how does Sinqobile Tusani want to be perceived or known on social media? Because it's a different spectrum completely. It's not the same as when you enter a room and then you have an opportunity to actually speak and engage and have people feel your energy and decide whether or not they want to be chatting to you. You know, it's a different space. So it's all perception. So when they asked those questions and I understood the depth of what that means, it meant that I needed to know myself before other people know me for me. So you ask, who's Sinqobile and how does Sinqobile want to be known on social media? So I explained that 2015 up until 2019, it was basically me introducing myself as I am, as a Mac artist, sharing my likes and how I do makeup, sharing my makeup looks, also doing tutorials by lives, teaching people how I achieve particular makeup looks that they really liked or content that they'd engaged with. So like, oh, okay, cool. People are liking this. Let's move to live and just show people what that was about. Obviously, those times it was different. Interaction on lives were a bit more different and people would flock to follow you after that. So I don't know if that's a trick in how I gained audience. Maybe that's one of the tricks. But even then, I was quite clear in intention to say, I want to build a community and it needs to be about impact more than numbers for me. Because impact means that people grow loyal to you and they start following the brand growth, which was then when the transition happened from 2019 up until 2023. 2019 was when I was pregnant, expecting my second child, and people already knew she's not just a makeup artist from Mac, but there's a mom element as well. There's something else that we can relate to her with. And I shared that journey with people, and that's when it then transitioned from just a makeup artist who works in store to lifestyle, where a lot of brands started noticing me and they would reach out to work with me. Car brands came, lifestyle brands, Purity, Huggies, Brutal Fruit. That was all from 2019 until maybe 2022, beginning 2023. But I was always intentional because I can't focus on one thing for long. So I've always wanted to expand what I can be, because I always knew I'm not just a makeup artist, and also I'm not just a mom, but I can be A, B, and C, and N. So being reduced to just, oh no, but we enjoy your makeup videos, or oh, we enjoy this, will just become boring for me, and I'd probably end up stopping if I had not pushed myself to do more things that I knew I'm capable of. And then from 2023 up until now, that's when I started focusing more on fashion, started expressing myself on clothes I wear, sharing what I like, almost sharing tips of, a lot of people wanted to know how for process behind the outfits that come and yeah, I think that's how I built the following. And if you can see, my following is also not still growing, but what I really like or really enjoy about how far it's come is the loyalty with people who followed me since beginning of the days. And when I say loyalty, is that some people follow the journey because they know the person beyond surface level. Like when we have these conversations, we engage and I answer particular questions that you guys are curious about. I think that's brand relationship. I mean, that's like relationship building. I'm building a relationship with you because it's not one way. The same way you consume me, I'm also interested in what you guys do enjoy, who you guys are, and what made you guys follow. And I think I did also one of those questions where I asked that, where I asked people what made them follow me, and I appreciated that 90% of the answers that came or response that came from that was not, from outside information or sources, but it was people who were like, oh, followed you from back then, oh, always followed you. And the reason I enjoyed that is that most of the time when people come and follow you from outside sources, oh no, we heard this gossip and then we decided to come, I know it won't be long lasting. So that's why I don't latch on things like trending, going viral. I really don't care for that, because a lot of the times when your mission is to go viral, when your mission is to trend, you lose the plot of what you're actually trying to do, because you'll get distracted from the noise. And in as much as you can still see it from a positive perspective to say, look, it's adding numbers, but what are the numbers? What are these people following you from? And that's super important, because when people come and they come for the wrong reasons, I like them to realize that, okay, cool, we're not getting more of the scoop or gossip we came here from, so we leave. I like it, because I'm just like, oh, thank God, because you weren't here for the right reasons anyways. You're gonna miss the message, or you're gonna miss who I actually am because you came for other things. But yeah, I hope that breaks down a lot of questions in how I've actually come this far. So yeah, what's your zodiac sign? I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus, but I've got also I don't think, as someone who's now deep into astrology, I don't think it's just about your star sign. There's my moon sign, which plays a role into most of how I behave, and I'm a Sag moon. So as much as I'm a Taurus and I'm very calm and all the good stuff that they say about Taurians, I'm also very adventurous, very spontaneous, very unpredictable. So there's that, which is me operating from my moon sign. Do you save your lives by any chance? I'd love to watch. I don't, unfortunately. I don't. It's just one of those things with me. Like if you got the message, you had to get it. If you didn't, maybe it was. And I don't know. I just believe in fate. Are you not a fan of individual lashes? No, I used to do individual lashes back in 2016. I outgrew them. I don't like the look. I don't like them when they start falling off. I don't know. I've outgrown them. I used to do them. I just don't. Oh, sorry. I stopped even sharing because I'm busy. Bad. What I used to bronze is my MAC NW43 powder. Let me show you. This is a Studio Fix foundation / powder. It has full coverage. It adds to the warmth of what my actual skin tone is, so I generally enjoy it to bronze. I usually use this as an eyeshadow as well. And then for under my eyes, I'm using the translucent Honey Laura Mercier powder. It's the translucent, so this sets my makeup beautifully. So guys, my makeup routine doesn't have much. There's not much going on. It's just, I also intuitively do things. I don't really use technique or Well, I'm not obsessed with that anymore. I used to, like, back in the day, but now it's just like, oh, this works for my face, and I've been doing my face for I don't know how long, so I just stick to what works for my face. Where are my actual mirrors? Guys, do you know that I'm, like, trusting what I'm seeing here on screen? Because, like, all I see here, please report the MAC shade, it's NW43. The playlist, that's luxury jazz on Spotify. Just search luxury jazz. I usually listen to it on Spotify or YouTube. I love your style and makeup, it's not too much, yet classy and elegant, which I always relate to. It's timeless, I love it so much, and so I always come back. Oh, thank you. I need to. I think that was too much. That reminded me of a video. When are you going back to Paris? Can't tell. But yeah, Paris has become my second home. Sweden. I've never been to Sweden. Are you married? No. Do you want to have more kids? Probably, yes. I'll probably have 2 more. You know? Probably like 2 more. I don't know. But maybe twins. 2 for 1. That's the biggest lesson you've learned in the content creation industry. That's a nice one. Let me just think on it, because I don't think I just want to answer that lesson. I think the biggest lesson for me is, I think waiting for your turn. Yeah, I think waiting till it's your turn, because I think with everything in life and things happening at the right time and when they should, is the same thing with content creation. But I think a lot of people get lines blurred, or a lot of us rather, because I want to include myself in that. We get the lines blurred in looking at like the demographics and saying, oh, but I have the numbers, I have the whatever, so it should make sense for me to also be included in this or whatever going on, if it's something that you'd want or that aligns with your brand, and you almost forget the wait your turn element when we're looking into social media, because you're thinking, but I'm here, I have the numbers, I also have the influence. So I think that was my biggest lesson, to just wait. I'm a patient person, don't get it twisted. Like, I never bothered myself about anything happening outside of what I want. So and also understanding that when it is in fact your turn, you become unstoppable, or no one or nothing can actually stop it when your turn comes. Someone's asking, do you always fly business, or it depends? It actually depends. I'll tell you, when I went to, okay, let me not be specific, but so here's my objective. Because I'm building relationships internationally, I don't always look at how I get there as the main priority. So it's about me getting there. It's not about how I get there. That's how I look at it. So that's why I answer the question to say I don't always fly business. Business, for me, it's nice, luxurious, whatever. Something I can always save up for. It's super expensive. Most of the time when brands are inviting you, they cover that, which is a super nice experience. However, when I get invited, like I get invited to a to Fashion Week, when I was in Fashion Week right now, got invited to Fashion Week. I had been doing this in and out in France, building the relationships. For me, it didn't matter how I fly. What mattered was how I actually get there. Well, I get there and actually what's this deliver, what's expected of me, and in turn, get business deals that are going to grow my bank account. That's how I look at things. So I generally don't care about how I get there. I care about what I'm going to do there and what it's going to secure for me long term. So on TikTok, I shared something around being careful of or using discernment so that you don't get distracted or derailed from the path you're on. We all don't have the same path. But the main thing around that was things like that could be distractions when you're trying to achieve something bigger, trying to be visible internationally on a global platform, and that's currently been paying off and been happening constantly right in front of my eyes. It's not a shock because I've worked towards it, right? But had I stopped myself and said, oh, I'm not going to go because I'm already used to flying business, and at this particular point, I don't have enough to fly myself business, but I'm invited to go and I would like to go, I would miss out on opportunities that would open up a bank for me to not even think whether I'm going to fly business or not. And also, those things aren't necessarily important to someone who understands the bigger objective or the bigger game plan. For me, it's not important. It's what I'm going there for that's important. It's what I say when I open my mouth when I'm there. All these other superficial, frivolous things that people want to maybe associate with me, I'll tell you for free, I genuinely don't give a fuck. Like, I'm one of the people, I genuinely don't care. Well, how I got there, all that I'm there. All that matters is that I'm there. But obviously, preference, it would always be business or first. But if the time it's not there yet, I'm not doing that. How do you go about ignoring dumb rumors? How do you get self-control and ignore? That has to do with intention. I think the first thing I actually said when I opened this was actually intention. Who are you? How do you know yourself? For me, guys, let me tell you now. When people start talking about, do you have a manager? No. When people start talking about me, in whatever shape or form, that has nothing to do with me. I think that's what I understand fully. That has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you, how you project who sin is, unless you're using verbatim the words I actually used and you're repeating, quote, that OK Sin said A, B, and C. That's different. When people talk about you, it's a sign of visibility. It means you are visible to people, hence they have a way to perceive you. Hence the initial intent that I spoke about, the intention. Who is Sinqobile? How does Sinqobile want to be perceived? There's a lot that I can control, but there's also a lot I can't control. And that goes with what people say when they speak about me. I've put myself in the spotlight already. So it's almost like, oh my God, Sin, you put yourself out there, and then when people talk, you don't want them to talk. It's almost like, Kanti, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like your vision isn't clear, or your intent isn't clear on why you put yourself out there if you're only expecting people to say good things about you. Sorry, but I'm not going to hold your hand when I say this. People are going to talk, good or bad. So you just need to know why you've put yourself out there. So personally, to answer that question on how I deal with dumb rumors, I genuinely don't care. They don't add to anything that happens in my life. They're not changing anything. I look at it and I'm just like, oh, shame. It just gives me an insight on how people think, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's your train of thought or whatever. And also, a lot of the times I look at who's talking, because a lot of the times the people who have these dumb rumors or like spread these things, whatever, are people that I can bet you $100 on. They would never say that to my face. I know that for a fact. No one has come up to me who has spoken or said anything behind my back has had the guts to actually say it in front of my face. None of them have. And also, how much do the people who are saying these things matter? That's also another thing to ask. How much do they matter, and why do they matter? if someone says something that's true about me, it doesn't really matter. It's true anyways. If someone says something that's untrue about me, that also still doesn't matter. It's not true anyways. And also, who's saying it? It's someone who I probably wouldn't even trade lives with. They don't even have anything that I want going for themselves, so why would I care? My sister said, if only people knew, before my sister said it, my baby daddy said, if people knew how nonchalant you are, they'd realize that nothing actually, not to say I'm inhuman, as in you're exempt from real life experiences and emotions and going through them. It just matters more for me when the person matters. If the people who matter were saying that, I'd probably be crushed. I'll probably be like, I'm not. That I've built brick by brick, my people trust what I say. When I post something, my people go and look at it and follow it if they can relate to it or whatever. So why would I do it for people who don't actually deserve it? So that's I think that's just my attitude. I genuinely don't care. It's not that deep. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not giving anyone a spotlight on my platform, especially one who doesn't deserve it. Unless someone is saying something that's true about me and I'm like, oh wow, you figured that out. I'm just like, oh guys, one thing I love factual information. So that's why I don't get offended easily, because I'm just like, if someone says something that's true, I'm just like, whoa. But if someone is saying, I'm just like, oh my God, you could have done deeper. You could have went deeper and give people more. But now you didn't even try. Maybe, again, it's because I'm a sapiosexual person. I really love information. And that's why I know if I would open my mouth, when I open my mouth and when I decide to speak on a topic, it's never just something superficial. Or I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not a sheep. I don't follow everything and go for anything and everything that's not looking fun and whatever. I've always stuck to what I like, and I know exactly what I like. So when I speak on something, best believe there's so much information or research I've done to back whatever said shit up. So if I speak on psychology, trust me, when you go back and research, you're gonna see factual information. So that's why when people who say things just there because it's said, because it's a trend, or because it's easy to say, or because I'm gonna go viral, I'm always like, I'm really not interested. I'm just I need to be stimulated deeper than just someone saying, oh, I heard they said you have brown hair. I'm just like, oh, such a boring person, but hey, it's boring for me. It's boring. So that it's just boring for me. So to get my attention and have me speak on something you said about me, I think me come with deep factual information understand this one. This is guys, did a better meeting endlini ndithi guys yaphuma njani mfundo enjalo mfundo enjalo ndifuna umuntu athi hayi ntombi ndive kusithiwa ayizoclip-ins ezo zinxibileyo i-so in ndithi hayi so in my dog because I'm definitely not going to argue with you. So also what I put my time into matters so much. Also the other thing that I always want to remind people when they ask these things. I tell them, I'm like, guys, I have kids. Eh? Yeah, I have 2 kids. Literally, academically, I need to be on par. I need to know what's going on. Like extramurals, I need to know. So why would I worry myself about other things that are going on that are said about someone, about me, when I've put myself on social media? I've put myself on social media. Of course, I'm going to be perceived. Like, it doesn't stop the program from moving. So like, that's why I always remind people that, like, when I say I have kids, it's not to say other people don't have kids or whatever, but I'm just saying there's more important things running in my life, and the important things for me are those, you see those babies, you see those love of my lives, see, that's what matters. You see, that for me, that and my money. Me, I want my money. I don't anything else. Anything else that's going on, it doesn't. I phone now, and I keep a clear head to always remind myself of what it is that's important, that takes priority, and that I pay my energy into. You think exactly like successful people. They have your mindset. Oh, thank you. Also, they don't address everything. That's also what I've learned. They really don't address everything. You go with the narrative. If you say they're divorcing, they're divorcing. If you say they whatever, they're doing that. Like, it's almost like you have to narrow